Hi, everyone. Welcome to the TimingResearch.com Crowd Forecast News, episode number 274 for August 17th, 2020. We are recording this at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is David Kosmeter. I'm the creator of TimingResearch.com, and today we are going to be talking about the S&P 500 and other active markets. And I have arranged for Anka Metcalf to join us. And so you are seeing her screen right now, and she'll be sharing her charts throughout today's show. And the option professor is back to moderate, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him.
Okay, thanks, David, and welcome everybody. Monday morning or Monday afternoon if you're on the East Coast. And today, Anka is going to go over a lot of the different things going on in the markets, and I'll throw some 2 cents in as we go along. But before we get started, Anka, a little background on yourself and what's going on at Trade Out Loud.
All right, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the area where you live. And happy Monday, everyone, the beginning of a brand new week. My name is Anka Metcalf. I'm the CEO and founder of TradeOutLoud.com, which is a trading education company that is specialized in educating individuals how to professionally day trade and swing trade the futures and the equities market. I have been a professional independent trader for the last 17 years, trading my own accounts. And before coming into professional, personal trading, I come with 10 plus years in investment banking. I'm also the designer of an institutional proprietary trading system that I tweaked actually for the retail trader. And the system is based on price support resistance, and we're taking into consideration 8 layers of price support resistance. And we're looking at cluster support or resistance areas, confluence areas derived from multiple layers from those areas. Also specific trigger times, and this applies for day trading and specific price zones. They're actually for specific price zones where institutional traders layer in, scale out, etc. Chart synchronicity is very important, and also strict traders trading rules and a 10-point scoring system that enables myself and my traders to identify trades with these. So basically, my trading methodology is specialized on high velocity moves. So those small rewards and those explosive moves that instantly create that instant gratification for us. So Jim, back to you.
All right, sounds good, Anka. And we're going to go through some standard questions as we do every Monday, but then we're going to get into some of the stuff that you're looking at and you think looks like it might have value. All right, the first thing we always say is the S&P today opened up at 3380. And basically, what is your feeling between now and Friday on where we're going?
Wow. First of all, I think that this is going to be a very tough week to trade. On Friday, we do have option expirations, so we do expect a lot of shenanigans to happen throughout this week, and especially towards the end of the week. We still have some earnings that are coming out from NVIDIA that I'm going to, it's definitely going to be the top watch for this week. We still have BABA, etc. So we still have some companies that are reporting earnings that may create a little bit more volatility. And of course, the fundamentals are going to sink in to the indices as well. So depending on those results, the trajectory for this week, in my opinion, what the charts are telling us is that we're actually heading towards a continuation higher. And here in front of us, we have a chart of the S&P 500, and you can see that we had a really nice kind of really shallow rotation happening right here. So we pretty much from last week where we had this red bar retest the exact 1.382 level, and then we zip back up exactly off of this level, continuation higher, and then we have Thursday, Friday. We're pretty much range bound days, actually 3 really sloppy range bound days. And today we are finally trading over Friday's high. In fact, the overnight trading session punched higher in the futures indices, pointed to a little gap up into the ETFs today, into the market ETFs, the Qs, the SPYs, the diamonds, etc. And we're trading back into the highs from last week. We still have a little bit of room into the extension of 1.618, which is definitely going to be a huge target for the upside. Now, what we're seeing is that a slow grind and a small grind. We're having the moving averages that are fanning out, which means that the price is still trading into a power trend, and it's likely to continue higher. But we are going to hit this 3,400 ultimately at some point, and I think this is the area that we need to hit before we actually start seeing either a pullback or consolidation. And again, if we explode higher, wow, we look at the next projected target right here, which is into the 3550 to 3560 area. Like, wow, all the way up here. So to answer your question, I think that yes, we are going to go higher into the end of the week.
Okay, so higher is the way.
Cautiously higher.
And your confidence level on a percentage basis?
75%.
Okay. All right. Now, with regards to reasons behind it, you went over them quite a bit, but with regards to any other factors that might come into play?
Well, we do have some news this week that is going to impact, obviously, the S&P directly, and that is the OPEC meeting that is gonna happen on Wednesday. We also have the G7 meeting this week. We have unemployment claims coming on Thursday. And don't forget, we have the Democratic convention that has just started today. And I think it's going to last like 3 days or 4 days. I think it's going to be Monday. Yeah, Monday through Thursday, I think. And depending on what we see going on, everything that will be communicated to the media, anything can influence the price at one point. So we should be navigating pretty sideways throughout this week, I'm thinking, because of what we have going on. My biggest concern is option expiration on Friday that will create the typical shenanigans for price.
Right. Now, one thing
sorry to interrupt you, Jim. I
Sure.
forgot to mention the most important thing today. Not today, but this week, the FOMC meeting minutes.
Right,
Okay,
right.
that's right after the OPEC.
And the other most important thing to mention is Thursday, the webinar that we're going to have throughout the day, right?
Of course, that is definitely going to influence the price.
We'll get into that at the end, though. We'll get into that at the end. Okay. With regards to your technical indicators, a lot of times people would like to know, what are the technical indicators you put into your soup that gives you an idea of where you think the direction's going?
Yeah, of course. So
Yeah.
I use very simple technical indicators. I basically use a few moving averages that you see here. The 10 exponential moving average, the 20 simple moving average, the 50, and the 200 simple moving average. I don't use fibs all the time. I have to have a really good reason in order to use fibs. I basically have very clean charts. I also use a William %R, which is very easy to use. It provides a lot of information into divergency situations, into oversold and overbought areas on technical charts. And that's pretty much it. And of course, if, the SPX, but if we're putting up a chart of the SPYs, you can see that I also have volume. So volume is very, very important for me. Also, one thing that I didn't mention earlier is that on Friday, we had below average volume in everything that we were trading. So volume is extremely low. And this is very typical for the last 2 weeks in August. A lot of traders, hedge funds, etc. They're taking vacations, and let's not forget this is prime time vacation time in Europe. So they're just locking it up and locking their businesses and going on vacation. And this is valid for traders as well. But these are the indicators. So volume, few moving averages, and the Williams percent R. And occasionally when we have specific areas on charts where I either need to see a retracement, whether we have that rotation that is happening, like it happened here. So we had this move that from this swing low to the swing high. And once we had this rotation happen here, then definitely I take my tool out to see where the possible retracement may happen, or if we're breaking above this prior high here, how high can we go? So I'm using those, basically it's the same tool. I use it for retracements and for projections.
Now, on a time frame basis, are you using a 1-day chart, a 5-day chart, a monthly chart? What are you doing?
Okay, so for my swing trading, I basically use quite a few charts. First of all, I use the daily chart, the weekly chart, the monthly chart, and I also use a higher time frame, which is a quarterly chart. And I know this is not very popular with a lot of traders, but it does provide a lot of information. Because these setups that are developing on quarterly charts provide really great even swing trades, even short-term swing trades. So you could take the initiation off of the breakout from those quarterly charts or monthly charts, and then you could find smaller pivots where you can adjust your risk to on daily charts. So these provide really high velocity areas for trading. But I do use multi-time frame alignment, and I've always been a multi-time frame alignment person because I need to see the areas of confluence on the charts, and you can only do that if I'm watching those past price action moving into and zooming in into the technical image. And for day trading, because I do day trade 2 hours every single morning, I actually have a trading room that I run from 9 to 12. And we focus on smaller time frames. And what I want to highlight here is the fact that when you're day trading is a bit different than swing trading. Because in day trading, there's this misconception that, hey, you know what, I'm a very focused trader on momentum or scalper, and I'm only watching the 2-minute chart. No, you have to watch the time frame that corresponds to the time to the volatility of the time of the day and where the pattern is setting up. So with some mornings you may be watching the 1 or the 2-minute charts, and in some mornings you may watch the 5 or 15-minute charts. But typically at the beginning of the day, what I do and what works for me is that I have the flexibility to watch these multi-time frames. So sometimes they're and not only that the pattern is setting up on different time frames based on formations, but there's this specific time of the day that corresponds with price action. So in the morning from 9:30 to about 10 o'clock, I like to focus on the 1 and the 2-minute. From 10 o'clock onwards to about 10:30, I like to focus on the 5. And after 10:30, I focus on the 15-minute chart until about 2 p.m. at the end of the doldrums when the suits are coming back and from lunch. So from that time frame on, it's fine if you want to shift back into a 5-minute chart or even a 2-minute chart into the end of the day. But the end of the day is also for day trading, that is the last hour, which sometimes is called the power hour. And especially as you're getting closer again to the close of the day from 3:30 to 4 o'clock, if you're getting a massive decline, that is the prime time for a ramp, so for a short squeeze. So that is the time when you can actually zoom in again to the 2-minute or the 5-minute charts. But it's very different. So once you know how to work with the time frames, and thanks for the question, because this is such a great thing, especially for new beginners to start absorbing. Don't get stuck on one time frame, especially if you're a day trader. You have to observe multi-time frames, but those multi-time frames for you are going to be the 1, the 2, the 5. Some traders use the 3. I used to use them for a very long time, and then I just got rid of it. Then the 15-minute. These are very important time frames. And then you have your analytical time frames, which are the 1 hour, 4 hour, and then of course the daily, weekly, and the monthly. And these analytical time frames serve as swing trading time frames as well.
Now, I don't want to speak for you, but the reasoning behind it would be in the beginning of the day, you're looking for a very sensitive indicator that will get you in fairly soon, and then you back away and look for a indicator that gives the market a little room to breathe. And then at the end of the day, you're looking for something that puts everything on a very short leash as we go into the end of the day, so that if there's a turn there, so if there's a turn, you don't give back so much.
Exactly.
Okay. Because like I say, somebody outside looking in would like to know the reasoning behind switching these time frames, and it's price sensitivity, really.
Yeah, exactly. It's price sensitivity because this is the high velocity time in the morning. You're getting the open, and especially because I day trade futures. So when you're having the open, you're getting that influx of contracts from the New York trading session that are just jumping into the market and they're aggressively buying or they're aggressively selling. And yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah. Looking at this chart that we have here,
Mhm.
you obviously have different size bars. Some are red, some are green. Can you kind of give a little explanation on that?
Of course, of course. So basically, this is a daily chart. So this is what I have. So bullish candles are green. They're a great visual representation. I love using candlesticks, and I know many traders use candlesticks. They offer such a great visual representation for the period in time in which the bulls or the bears are in charge. So the red candles are bearish candles and the green candles are bullish candles. I also look and I also like to look at the shapes of the candlestick. So that has a different, a very important meaning. And this is something that we teach in our class as well. So for instance, candles that have these big wicks to the bottom, the bottoming tail candles, they're also called bottoming tail candles, not only hammers. Basically, when these are happening, when they tap onto a simple moving average or an exponential moving average, you're going to see that these can initiate large participation to the upside or to the downside. So if you're seeing, let's say, a candle that has a top of, let's say, a topping tail. So let's go back here and see if we get one. So I can show you an example. Okay, here's an example. So this is a topping tail candle. The topping tail candle found resistance into a moving average. It came down and it closed pretty weak. Now the candle that opens, so after this candle is all wrapped up and closed, and the next candle that opens, and if it opens below the closing price of the prior candle, more than likely there are 85% odds that the candle will continue lower. So these are really quick, great tricks to apply in your trading, in your day-to-day trading, whether you're day trading or swing trading or even investing. They're really great. It's great to study, the candlestick language because they do have a really high importance in our everyday trading. I specifically love one candle, and that is the doji candle. That to me is the most important candle on the chart, especially if it's happening on an extension to the upside. So let's say here we're running into high highs, and then all of a sudden we're getting a doji. Well, to me, that's going to be super defining for my strategy, because if it's going to trade below that doji, I know that I can short it. Or, if let's say I am in a swing trade and I don't want to exit, although that may be an exit point for short-term swings, you could actually see that could be the starting point of a pullback. So that has a lot of significance in trading those doji candles. If they're happening on support, any rotation from that doji is going to push the price higher, or if it's into the high, that can definitely be the start of a pullback. Or if it's in a downtrend, if we're having a doji in a downtrend, then that could definitely push the market lower, and a rotation below that doji low is going to be the start of that move lower, the entry, if you will, the entry for that specific trade that you may want to initiate. But yeah, I've always used colored candlesticks. They represent, like I said before, they offer you a great representation of price action for the duration of time. So because we're looking at a daily chart right here, and this is definitely for very new traders, this bar right here represents the 1 day trading activity. So because this is the SPYs, it represents the buying activity from the open, from 9:30 to the close into 4 o'clock. Now there's another thing that I look at, speaking of candles, is depending on how we close, and this is specifically for swing trading, but also valid for day trading. Because if we close on a very strong candle, so you see here, this is a really green solid candle, any push over this high is gonna promote it higher. So any push and any move and any solid close that we have is definitely going to have a really strong directional push into the upcoming day of trade, into the next trading day.
So that's a way to capture the momentum.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And
again,
this is valid for weekly charts, monthly charts, and even smaller time frames if you're looking to day trade. So this is something that you need to watch very, very carefully, especially in day trading.
And just looking at the red bar, the red candle that happened about 4 days ago, it looks like that was not followed by a lower price, and ergo that would have canceled out the negativity, huh?
Exactly. And
in other words, when you see that big red bar there, you'd be saying, hey, if this thing opens lower tomorrow, I'm getting on the sell side.
Exactly.
And if it doesn't, you're glad you had the patience to wait, huh?
Of course, you have to wait. And in trading, you know, there's this thing that, you know, traders keep on saying, hey, I don't have the patience. I'm getting in too early on trades. I'm doing the, no, there's no such thing. You have to wait until the candle closes. If you're a day trader, you have to wait, let's say 2 minutes at a time for the candles to close before you actually take a decision on your move. And if you're a swing trader, daily charts are going to be your canvas, and you have to wait until the whole entire day's close before you actually take a decision. What I also like, Jim, is when we're having inside candles. Inside candles are extremely powerful, and here's a quick example of an inside candle, and it's also a doji. So this candle right here, if we would have broken below this, then you could see some air. So we could have had a pullback to the 10 exponential. Now, this to me is not bearish, but this would be a pullback and possibly a buy off of this area. For swing trading, for me, I would really like it. Let's say if I want to short, I need to look for a higher time frame. Let's say for the weekly, right? So if I look at this beautiful continuation here. Look at this inside candle. So since we have this cluster here, this is the bull sandwich. You can see these this red bar that is flanked by 2 green bars, and as we pushed above this level, the price just continued higher. Notice the hammer candles, those bottoming tails, right? Really suggestive that the price is continuing higher. And then here, a little fade, right? So a test and a little fade. It closed very neutral. All you had to do is wait for the next week. If you were, let's say, long in, long in the SPYs. And here, in this particular week, we remain inside the parameters. And then look at the explosive move that happened, continuation higher. And today we're just getting ready for another explosive move higher, probably. So if we take out 338.30, which we did because we printed at 34, we may have continuation higher, just like I showed in that SPX chart. But don't forget one thing, we are into almost into all-time highs right here. So this is going to be, this is actually the problem area. So this is like the best recovery that I have seen in my life, to be very honest. Like
sure. And like anybody's seen. Yeah.
This to me was nothing but impressive. I
Yeah.
continue to look at charts every day and I'll go like, wow, I can't believe this happened.
Mm.
And the thing here is that the more we see the price consolidate into these highs, and we have that information from the daily charts that we're still grinding all last week. The fact that we based last week into these highs, for me, is enough information to conclude that we are ready to burst higher over this high. So I don't see any other reason why we should have been sideways last week, but because we were sideways, this is just a digestion of the prior resistance high, and we may be getting ready for new highs, which is crazy because from this, I mean, I don't even know, should we like project from this level onwards? I mean, that would be crazy. I haven't even done it, but of course we could give it a go here. Yeah, so these would be the next target levels for the market based on the black swan event that we had, the COVID drop
Right.
that we had. But yeah, we could see 360 into the next, into the future as a future target.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but yeah.
You know, we're going to get into some of the stuff, some of the stocks that you're looking at and all that stuff, but I had a few that maybe other people might have an interest in. The value stocks that people think there could be a rotation in at some point, they're really up against levels right now that if they could break through, it looks like there could be a lot of potential. If I gave you, say, 4 different ETFs, could you put a chart up and maybe do a quick analysis? Because like I say, there are a lot of people who say that the epicenter trade and the value trade is going to be where the larger gains are going to be because tech has already gone so far. That may not be true, but let's see what the charts say. Let's start out with MGV. That's mega cap value over at Vanguard.
MGV?
Michael, Gary, Victor.
All right. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, so same drop that we had weekly. So here's the type of candle. Yeah. So we have a topping tail right here. The price came right into this 50 SMA. I think that an area of concern would be 77.60. If it breaks 77.60 below this low, it will have room to come back down to the 76. And this is like shorter term kind of swing. If right now we're trading right smack into this inside, we're inside this prior weekly candle. So this is last week's trading activity. Here's the thing. If this week we are going to see a 79.47, 79.50, I would go for 79.50. So over this high right here, over 75.50, we're still going to go higher. I don't see a reason why we should be worried about this. I think this is higher. We have a low, we have a higher low, we have the second higher low. So we're stepping into a rotation back to the upside. So my personal take on this is that this is still higher. It's still getting rejected from this 50 SMA.
It is.
Here. So,
it
but,
is.
But here's the thing, we had this peekaboo high, but we closed below the 50 SMA. So we didn't maintain the strength throughout the whole entire week, but we haven't taken out the last week's low. So as long as we're not going to take out last week's low, we're still holding on strong. And we
now, how about in the, this is the mega cap. Let's just do one more in the small cap. That would be VBR.
VBR.
Victor, Bobby, Robert. Now, this is the small cap, which really got nailed during the drop, which means if it's going to come back, there's some good real estate above.
Okie dokie. All right, let's take a look.
You can see if we can get going on some of these things, there's room to go,
Yeah. All these charts are so slow today. I don't know why. So it's VBR, Victor Bravo Romeo.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not displaying anything here.
All right, let's go to another one. We can always come back to it. Buffett in his 13F filing, Berkshire showed that they bought 563. Here's the small cap right there, huh? Looks like it came up, or no?
Came up?
It looks like it. Is that?
No, it's the last one we had on.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's go over to GOLD.
No. It came out. It came out.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Here it is. Yeah. So it pretty much has the same structure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's still, I would have liked to see it closed above the 50 SMA, but we didn't get it, our close into the 50 SMA right here.
Right.
So same thing, we have this lid into the 50 SMA. I would look at the last week's activity. If we trade above 120, this is going to go higher. So above this candle right here, above 120, we're going to go higher. Next target, in my opinion, is going to be this 200 SMA. I think that now is into a digestive mode because you could see that we have this prior price support here,
Right.
and we knocked once on this resistance, and this is the second time around. So yeah, it needs a little digestion here. So I'm not going to be shocked if we're seeing this week as an inside week, and then probably next week will be the decision week in which we can actually pop higher. Or lower, because if we take out this 116.20, there's some void. There's some void in here, and this may be the next support level that becomes bullish again.
It looks, both of them are a pretty critical level. You know, if they can get a little stronger, it's probably a train you want to jump on, and jumping on it now might be premature because if it goes the other way, it's just another failure at a level that it failed before. Yeah. All right, now listen, again, a couple more and then you can get into yours. The gold, GOLD, that's Barrick Gold. They took a $563 million position in it in the second quarter, Berkshire did. Sounds like a lot of money, but when you say it's a $506 billion company, 563 million is really not that much money. But they did take a position in it, and people obviously are reacting to it today. The stock is up 11%.
Yeah, and well, we do have a weekly rotation here, so this makes it incredibly strong. So we have triggered continuation for higher. This can actually run into $30, and it does have a lot of room for even higher. So let's check out the monthly here. So yeah, it does have room for higher. So at least into the $30, $31, and possibly even higher, going into the 35, 36. Really nice rounded bottom. Really nice. You don't see this kind of pattern very often into trading. So we had the move down into 2015. At the end of 2015, everybody, hard to believe that this was a $6 name. And then we went back up, and then when we came back in 2018, we formed a higher low compared to this low, and this was actually the decision zone right here into 2019, and that was last year when the breakout happened and we really had the massive move to the upside. I see that, you know, we have digested this very strong 200 simple moving average. We had resistance in April, in May, and also in June. But finally in July, we popped above this 200 SMA. We stayed above it. And $25 now, $25.80 now is the line in the sand. We also have the confluence from this 200 SMA. So very nice, robust, I would say, support level here. This is poised to go higher. And in fact, it triggered a continuation onto this monthly. So yeah, this is definitely looking higher. And we could do some fits here just to see if we're in sync with everything that we're seeing in terms of targets. And yes, we are. We can see, the 32 level. I mentioned first the 31 level, which is here, and then the 3280 area, right? 3250 to 3280. And then we have a really huge void right here, huge void. So this looks good for higher, definitely has projections for higher. Very choppy to the left-hand side because of what happened in 2011 through 2011 to 2013, but definitely still a lot of room for higher.
Yeah, the last time gold was in the 1900s, this stuff was up at 50. So if it was to play a game of catch up, it does have quite a window above, huh?
Oh yes, it does. It does. It's very nice. And even on the daily, let's take these lines out. Even on the daily chart, this is a nice, massive breakout. Sloppy pattern, but massive breakout. And remember that in these, I would say smaller price stocks, these whole numbers, are psychological at some point. So we need to see it over $30, and the more it stays over $30, and then it's going to start popping higher.
Yeah. There are two department stores that are starting to come on here a little bit. One is Ross, R-O-S-T.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if that, because it looks to me like it was breaking out, but what does it look like to you? Yeah, this company was, yeah.
Oh, Jim, I didn't see this. I scanned all weekend. Somehow I must have missed this. This was such a great swing trade today. Oh,
Yeah.
nice and juicy. Totally. It hit just target one into this prior pivot high. Definitely room at least into this 200 SMA into the $100. And then if any digestion into 100 is just going to expand it higher.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed this. See, we should have had this show yesterday.
And it's a discounting type of clothing place, and the other one is TJ Maxx, TJX, and I think it probably looks similar. People have less money, people have less income. They're going to go to these stores, right?
These stores are just blasting higher. I'm telling you, they're doing really, really well. And I think that all these stores that are going to go bankrupt, like Staymart, I don't know if the Staymart is publicly traded or not. I doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Never heard of it, but Staymart is going out of business. Neiman Marcus is going out of business, right? They filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So all this clothing is going to go to TJ Maxx. So all their clothing, they already have. So TJ Maxx is really powerful. They have a designer line. They have it's called Runway. If you go to their website, so they're selling really high-end stuff. So you can find the Gucci's, you can find, the Valentinos, the Emilio Pucci's and stuff. So I think this is going, so it addresses both, demographics, I would say, like really high end and somebody that's also looking for a bargain. So I could totally see TJ Maxx soaring higher, really higher. So the weekly chart, very strong, definitely can continue higher. Wow, super strong on the monthly. See, this is the type of candle, if we close like this at the end of next week, this is going to just blast higher. I have no doubt in my mind that the next time when we're going to have a show together in a month or so, and we're going to have the discussion about TJ Maxx, we're going to see TJ Maxx at about $65.
All right. How about one last one? I know you wouldn't buy anything from them because you're strictly top of the line, but how about Ulta Beauty?
Ulta. I shop at Ulta.
Okay. ULTA.
Yeah, I love it. This is such a wild stock for me. Be very honest, I used to trade it when it was like way, way, way back when it was trading at about $60 or $70. Yeah. This is crazy. This to me, this chart is actually kind of like, in terms of price action, is just like Chipotle. So
okay, yeah.
It's just so wild. It's so wild. Well, definitely the monthly chart higher. You can see it. It ran into the 10 EMA. Let's see it on the weekly. And on the weekly tapped into the 50 SMA. So yeah, that's where it's getting a little bit of style. I like the fact that it had a low and it's having a higher low right here. So lately it has not been in play, but typically this is just screaming higher. So if you are looking here, like I remember when this was at 350 and last year, and I was getting some emails and questions like, hey, what's your take on it? I want to get some calls on it. Like, oh my gosh, like how high is it gonna go, but definitely kind of weird structure right here. So we have a low, we have a higher low right here, but we have a high, lower high. So it's kind of like a pennant. We're gonna have to wait and see which way it's really going to break, because this is what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're having this. So it's either the price is going to start punching above this line here, but to me this is so much risk, or if it's going to start, going below this trend line right here, then it's going to go lower.
Yeah.
To me, it's super sideways right now. Super
Yeah.
sideways.
But
Yeah.
looking at the perspective, if it got legs and started to move, a lot of real estate above.
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of real estate above 250, 260. This 200 SMA is going to be the line in the sand for it. In fact, now the reason why it's having so much pressure here into the spot where it's trading is that we have these lows from 2019 that were here since September. So we had a quarter plus of price action into the 220s. And definitely this is going to take a toll on price. So that's why the price is just stuck here.
The ones that were, big benefit, because I was looking again at the 13F filings. David Tepper was picking up a lot of the payment processors, like your Square and your PayPal, Visa, MasterCard. Any of those payment processors, haven't still have some air left in them?
I do actually call the trade in Square, and we picked it up this morning. It was sent out. It was sent last night at with an entry right here into the 144.20 area. So we're well into targeted 3 and 4 on this one already. But yeah, this is the perfect example of a pullback buy into the 20 SMA and with the doji. This to me is the decision. It's bullish above. And this is the follow through. And yes, it does have a lot of room for higher. And let's try to see. I haven't done any flips on it yet, but if it trades into these highs here, so I would look for 154 to 158. And if we break above this 158, there's a huge void above to be filled. So huge, at least into the 170s. At least into the 170s, a lot of room. And PayPal is the same.
Yeah, I think they're ditto.
Yeah, PayPal's the same. PayPal, same structure, same pullback buy. It didn't have the doji, but it had a 1, 2, 3 down inside. This is so sweet right here. Inside candle. Here's the trigger. Here's your stop. You can use this this little mini inside bar as a stop and a rotation higher. I don't own PayPal. I'm just at Square.
How about Tiger Management, Julian Robertson? He was picking up Zoom, ZM, and Peloton, PTON. Anything going on with those two?
PTON. Well, PTON, let's take a quick look here. Inside candle, this is daily right here. I want to go a little bit far out to the weekly. Weekly, really wide range for me here. Not liking it that much because I would have to give a really wide stop for it. Because I don't want to get fleeced out of the trade. So my stop would be under 62. The buy zone would definitely be over 69.40. Or if you take it as an investment, that definitely you could start legging in, but with a soft stop, with an open stop, and as soon as it pulls back, look for a rotation to add to your trade and work the trade out. But definitely, I see it higher. So Peloton is higher. What was the other one?
Well, Peloton takes actually an effort to use. The other one is Zoom, which takes no effort, and that's why it's up $20. The people don't want to put an effort in. ZM.
Ooh, wow, yeah. Zoom, really nice weekly rotation that triggered for a higher 261.80. It has room at least into this high for a first pit stop into the 274.60 and then back into the all-time highs. Zoom is always going to be on demand. I mean, from now on, I think that people learned and, had acquired the taste for Zoom meetings and for the Zoom rooms and the fact that they don't have to get out of the house to have a meeting or have an interview or anything, I think Zoom is perfect.
Yeah, it's the lexicon of business and everything else.
Exactly.
Well, I've exhausted taking you off your highway. Do you have any on the I-95 or wherever you are to you want to talk about? Let's talk about your stuff.
Okay, let's talk about my stuff. I just lost my list of stocks that I am in right now. So hold on just 1 second. We are in many, 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 many names. And if some of the guests have some stocks that want to throw at us, go
Yeah.
right ahead. But I'm going to put this on. I'm going to go right now into Johnson & Johnson. Okay, Johnson & Johnson has been really slow for a very long time now. Johnson & Johnson is also consolidating very strongly. They're also going to come out with a vaccine. So I think that once the stock is going to have that vaccine ready, once we get a pop over this 150 level, 150 to 150 to 150 level, we're going to start just blasting higher. So I actually hold a position already because I got in on a different type of setup. But I think this is ready for a rip higher. But 150.50, this is going to be a blast for higher right here. It hasn't happened yet, but if you're not in, I would keep my eyes on 150 50 level for a projection higher. This looks really, really good right now for a higher. Really good. This is last week's doji. Last week, doji high, it's a go. It's a go. Whether it happens this week or next week, it's going to happen. And I have two more names. MRK. Speaking of vaccines, I have Merck, which is super strong. Yeah, Merck is super strong. Has issued a continuation on the weekly, and I also have Pfizer, PFE. These are really strong companies. You can see nice consolidation on the weekly, inside weekly. Once it goes over this 38.60, this is going to be the goal for higher, and it's just going to start digesting these 39s, and possibly it's going to go higher. And what was Moderna? What is the symbol? Moderna. We traded mRNA. Okay. mRNA. RNA. All right. Let's take a look at this. I always get questions in regards to Moderna. All right. So Moderna is actually sitting on weekly charts, actually very nice, quietly sitting, not violating anything on the 10 EMA. And I also love this area because last week we came right into this prior resistance high, which represents minor support for this for current price action. So Moderna is going to be ready to rock and roll if this week we're going to take out the 75.75. So over 75.75, we're going to start pushing higher here. So this is going to be a nice pullback of 1, 2, 3, 4 candles to the 10 EMA, rotation on the weekly. I would not take this and I would not trade it on the daily. It's too sloppy on the daily. Too sloppy on the daily. But I would definitely do it on the weekly. Love it on the weekly. Another stock, let's get into some things that, have not triggered yet and that we're looking. So I hate putting up stocks like, shoulda, coulda, woulda, or, ooh, wow, look how nice it is. I'm already in this one. I'm printing green. Let's look at something that is just trying to break out right now. So I'm going to bring out Caterpillar. Caterpillar is a strong watch for me. And especially onto the daily chart. So this is a trade on the daily chart. It had the 1, 2, 3 pullback to this 10 exponential moving average. This today, it's sort of like an inside day. It's still trading into the 10 EMA. Watch it tomorrow, because if tomorrow we're going to start trading above $140.62 to 65 cents, this is going to continue back up. This is a really nice pattern, pullback into a key support zone. You have these prior highs right here, also this high from June. So this is a good location for it to stabilize. And don't worry if it's not setting up, let it pull back a little bit more, because if we're going to close week, we're probably going to want to continue tomorrow, perhaps into the 20 SMA, and then look for a daily rotation at that point. And I know, Jim, you talked about gold, but GDX, GDX
that still seems to have trouble at 46 though, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It does. It's kind of stuck into these.
I don't
highs
trust
right
it right
here.
now. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah. So I had a gap up. I had it on my list today to watch it and possibly get, a really nice rotation to the upside, but it gapped up. I don't have parameters on it, so I let it go. But yeah, gold is up today massively. GDX and also GLD, which is a better representation of the futures index. The GLD, very nice push higher. And I think that now it's getting ready to continue into this gap, at least into the 189. I do not own it. I totally missed it. I had really huge platform issues this morning. And at the time when we entered into this show, we were still having tons of issues. I still don't have charts on my Thinkorswim platform.
How about one that I've been working with, SILJ?
SILJ. Okay, ooh, nice. Today, super nice. Wow, this is a nice one. SILJ punching higher here, and this is a doji. This is actually very strong. Tomorrow can pretty sure it's going to have a continuation higher. I love the price point. I love these stocks that are right now in just the smaller price range. They offer such dynamic moves. I had one last week. It was PVAC. So yeah, definitely SILJ, definitely higher, at least into these highs right here. At least, and then it has room for higher. Is this like the all-time high, or no? Then it has room for higher. Yeah, then it totally has room for higher. This looks very good. I love it. I told you we should have had this session yesterday.
We should have got the newspaper yesterday.
And here's the thing, yesterday I scanned like a crazy person, so it took me like 7 hours to scan. I took like 3.5 hours in the morning through lunch, and then I scanned a little bit in the evening. I just went one by one because the scanner did not provide me with any kind of entries. Or any kind of, trading ideas. So I manually scanned. I was like a crazy person. I was like, I can't find a really great setups. But
hey, why don't we take a look? Let's take a look, Anka. One last one on the metals. Freeport-McMoRan, FCX. It seems to me if it can stay above 14, it could have a little bit more to go. If it can't, then that's a problem.
Yes. Let's put it out on the monthly here. So the monthly chart just died just as this resistance. I think it's really ready. I see it for a long term, $17 and at least into the $20. 17 and 20 longer term.
Yeah. But in the short term, staying above this 14 is kind of important, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. It needs to stay. And the more it conquers every single week, the effort that it's doing is fantastic. So we had a washout bar here.
Yep.
It just took out some of the stops. This is the type of stock, even if it's a small price, if you trail it tight, might as well not trade it at all. So it's great for options. It's great for anything else. Or, if you want to swing it, just swing it with a soft stop. Take half of the position, make short or a quarter position, and you can work the trade out beautifully. I love this stock. I
do see something on your chart way to the left where you had a high point, and then next to it, it had a red bar coming down that was pretty big.
On the monthly chart?
Yeah, and the one you have on your screen, the one you just had on your screen. We had like, you had a when the wick is big on both sides, can you tell us what that means?
Of any significance? Yeah, this is a washout bar. So every time when we would see like bars like this, it takes out the high, it does this periscope high, and then it pulls back drastically, taking all the traders out. So what it does when it pulls back, it washes out all the weak traders, all the traders that, have smaller positions, etc. And the institutions are just accumulating what these individuals are selling right here. And so
you consider that constructive?
Yeah, it's a sign for higher, definitely. And it has a nice inside candle right here. So here's the thing. This week, if it's going to trade over 1453, this is definitely going to start running higher.
Okay.
Definitely higher. And metals are on fire.
Yeah. Well, what I guess we're showing here today is not only do you have your basket of things that you're looking at, but people who subscribe to your stuff also may be able to submit a question on a different stock, and you could do an analysis on it as well.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good value because there's a lot of information here that you're bringing to the table that, like the 1453 number is nice to know. You wouldn't know that if you didn't do the analysis,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, why don't you close up by letting everybody know how they can get a hold of you and maybe what's coming up on Thursday.
All right. So you can find us at tradeoutloud.com. If you, like I said, we are specialized in providing education for day trading and swing trading, for futures and for equities. And if you're interested, just head on to our website, tradeoutloud.com. Now, the big announcement, drum roll, on Thursday, we're hosting a massive event, and it starts at 10 a.m. Please register. David, I'm pretty sure he's going to punch it. There it is. Okay, so it is day trading strategies. So if you're interested in day trading, you do not want to miss this event. We have invited, I think, David, we're closing in on 8 or 10 day traders that are going to present. David has the whole list. So make sure that you register. It's going to be a wealth of information. And we're very excited about this day trading, specialized day trading event. And this is something that David and I came up with. And it happened a year ago, actually. And I believe that this week is our 1-year anniversary since we have created Synergy Traders, basically bringing traders together.
Today actually is the one year ago today was our first event. Yeah.
Yay! Happy anniversary.
Let's get some cake. What about some cake? What do you think?
And champagne.
I need champagne too. Yeah.
No, David had the bourbon already.
Yeah.
And the cigar. Sunday night. Yeah. Without us, Jim.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but it's our 1-year anniversary, and what David and I, our main goal is to bring you specialized events. So if you're interested in day trading, you have a full day with day trading education for free for traders. If you're at the beginning of your career, if you want to find out more details about day trading or swing trading or anything else, Synergy Traders is the place to be. And on Thursday is all going to be about day trading, futures and stocks and anything that you have under the sun that can be traded, even options. So you can day trade options, not only swing trade options. So it's going to be a massive event. I'm very excited for it. It's going to be great. Don't forget to register. Even if you cannot make it at the event, register and we will send you the recording, because if you're not in the list, then you're not receiving the recording. And you could also, and by the way, the event is going to be recorded, and the recording is going to be on the Timing Research YouTube channel. So David is processing them as we're moving through the presentation. So the presentations are going to be available right away if you missed it. So that's going to be very interesting. But yeah, it's going to be a great event, really fantastic event. It's going to be all about day trading, all about day trading.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll just add here real fast who we have on the list. So both Anka and the option professor will be speaking on Thursday, and then also Michael Filiguera, Stephen Primo, Maria Villatoro, Fausto Puglisi, Pro Trader Mike, Matt Buckley, and Craig Hill.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
So, yeah, and we might add a couple more to the lineup before Thursday, but yeah, we'll have so 9 presentations at least.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And David, can I highlight some of the next events that we're planning for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so also on, so you can go ahead and mark your calendars. On August 31st, we'll have a favorite indicators.
You don't want to miss that.
Event, yeah, and so let's see, I have about...
September 8th, we have investing and long-term trading.
Yeah, and then September 17th, trading psychology. And October 1st, stock trading. And October 22nd will be VIX and news trading. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
And
So we do have like these specialized, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good people on the lineup for all of those. So.
Oh, this is going to be an amazing year with amazing trading education.
And on Thursday, if you have any trouble finding access to the room, just go to TimingResearch.com/live or go to Timing Research and hit the live button at the top. And you can always get access to the live events right there. So.
Yeah, so we're really looking forward to seeing everyone at the event, the day trading event on Thursday. And don't forget to register to also receive the recordings right after that. So thanks so much. Thanks so much, everyone, for...
Yeah, and like Anka said, I record each of the presentations separately. So if you can go through the list afterwards and see which ones that you missed or you want to watch again, and you don't have to, we don't have like one long 10-hour video or anything you have to fast forward through. You can watch each one of them separately. So.
That's good.
All right. So.
All right. Well, that's about it, David. And you're going to close this out here and go from there.
Yeah. So. So great show today. Lots of good information, and just want to remind everyone: be sure to subscribe to Timing Research on YouTube and your favorite podcast directory or app, and you'll get the updates there for each of the shows, as well as the presentations for these larger events like the one on Thursday. And just want to thank my guests again for today: Anka Metcalf of TradeOutLoud.com. and the Option Professor of OptionProfessor.com. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, David. So much, David. Thank you, Jim. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of the week, everyone.